After driving 8 hours to surprise my wife on her birthday, her brother looked me up and down and said, "You weren't invited." She laughed and shut the door in my face. I slept in my car outside that night, listening to them party inside. At sunrise, I left something on the porch that changed everything. I'm not even sure where to start with this. I've replayed it all so many times in my head that parts of it don't even feel real anymore. But it happened. All of it. My name's Chris. I'm 42. Been married to Rachel, 37, for 6 years. We live in Greensboro, North Carolina, or I guess I should say lived. I work as an HVAC tech, steady job, long hours, but it's honest. Rachel works remote doing marketing and branding for a bunch of social media, lifestyle, companies. It's not bad money, but it's flaky. And fake. Always felt fake to me. She grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. Her parents still live there, along with her younger brother Logan, who's 31. Logan's never liked me. He acts like he's better than me because he went to college and got some business job. From day one, he's treated me like I wasn't good enough for Rachel. She let it slide every time. Rachel started going to Knoxville more last year. Her mom had some medical stuff, nothing serious, but enough of a reason for her to spend more time back home. First it was just weekends. Then full weeks. Then she started saying she needed headspace and would stay there for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I'd ask if she wanted me to come with her. Sometimes she'd say no. Other times she'd just ignore the question. But I trusted her. At least I did for a while. Things got weird over the summer. She barely texted. If I called, she'd say she was too tired to talk. When she did answer, it was short and cold. She used to end every call with, "Love you." She stopped saying that. When I asked about it, she said I was being needy. Around that time, she posted less and less about me online. At first, I figured she wanted privacy. But then I noticed she was still posting pictures of dinners, wine nights, long captions about being surrounded by your real people. I wasn't in any of it. Not one photo. Not even mentioned. Still, I told myself I was overthinking. I kept working. Kept the house together. I even fixed up the guest bathroom by myself, thinking she'd be surprised when she came home. But she didn't come home. Her birthday was in October. I asked what she wanted to do. She said she just wanted a small dinner with her mom and Logan. No stress. No big plans this year, she told me. She asked me not to drive down. I told her okay. But inside, I felt sick. I still loved her. I still wanted things to work. I thought maybe if I surprised her, brought her favorite cake, showed up and made it special, maybe she'd remember who we were before all this. So I made a plan. I picked up her favorite cake from a bakery in Greensboro early that Friday morning. Chocolate raspberry ganache. Custom made. I put it in a cooler with dry ice so it wouldn't melt. I packed a weekend bag, changed the oil in my truck, filled up the tank, and left around 9 a.m. It's about an 8-hour drive to Knoxville. I called once during the drive. She didn't pick up. I told myself she was busy. Or maybe she was sleeping. When I got to her mom's place just before 7 p.m., I knew something was off the moment I turned onto the street. The driveway was packed. Cars lined both sides of the road. I heard music from halfway down the block. People were outside on the porch with drinks, laughing. It wasn't a quiet dinner. It was a birthday party. A big one. I parked across the street and just stared for a while. My stomach sank. I remember sitting there gripping the steering wheel, telling myself I was being crazy. That maybe it was a surprise party her mom planned. Maybe Rachel didn't know. I got out. I fixed my hair in the side mirror. I picked up the cake. Walked across the street. My hands were shaking. I knocked on the door. A few seconds passed. Then Logan opened it. He looked at me like I was something that crawled out of the sewer. He didn't say hello. He looked me up and down and said, "You weren't invited." Just like that. I laughed, confused. I thought maybe he was messing with me. "Where's Rachel?" I asked. That's when she appeared behind him. She was wearing this little black dress I hadn't seen before. Her hair was done. Makeup, heels. She looked like she was going to a club. And she had a wine glass in her hand. She saw me and stopped. Then she laughed. Not an awkward laugh. A mean one. The kind someone makes when they want to humiliate you. "Oh my God," she said. "You drove here?" I didn't even know what to say. I just held out the cake. She looked at it like it was trash. Then turned to someone behind her and said, "Logan needs another drink." She turned back to me and said, "I told you I needed space." Then she shut the door. Right in my face. That was it. No explanation. No apology. I stood there on the porch for a full minute. Cake in hand. Feeling like I just got hit by a truck. I didn't know what else to do. So I walked back to my truck. I sat there. And I stayed. I stayed the whole night. Right across the street. In my truck. I cracked the windows and leaned the seat back. But I couldn't sleep. I could hear the party from inside. Music. Laughter. Glass clinking. Rachel's voice, loud and carefree. I think I heard her sing at one point. I recognized the song, we used to dance to it in the kitchen. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just listened. All night. That sunrise changed something in me. I wasn't just sad anymore. I was angry. Like something finally clicked. I grabbed the cake, now half melted, and walked back up to the porch. I ripped it in half with my bare hands. Frosting and crumbs everywhere. I smeared it across the door. Then I pulled a manila envelope from my bag. I taped it to the door with duct tape. Inside were 6 printed photos. I'd hired a guy in Knoxville 3 weeks earlier. Something had felt off for a while, and I needed to know. The photos showed Rachel going in and out of a condo building. She always went in alone. But she never left alone. The man in the pictures? Tyler. Her brother Logan's best friend since middle school. One photo showed Tyler with his arm around her waist. Another one showed them kissing in front of the elevator. The last photo was grainy, taken through a window. Her in a robe. Him shirtless. Curtains pulled open enough to see what was happening. I didn't leave a note. Just the photos. Then I got in my truck and drove home. She didn't call. Not that day. Not the next day. But I know she found it. Because on Monday morning, I got a single email. "You didn't have to do that." No apology. No explanation. Just that. When I got that email, "You didn't have to do that," I stared at it for a long time. No, I'm sorry. No, let me explain. No regret. Just blame. Like I had crossed the line by showing the truth. I didn't reply. That same afternoon, I started getting calls. Unknown numbers. Knoxville area codes. A few were from her mom's landline. I didn't pick up. Then Logan texted me, "You're dead to us." A few minutes later, "Don't come near this family again." This man. This smug little parasite who opened that door like he was the king of the house, wanted to act like I was the problem. The same guy who welcomed his best friend into his sister's bed. I blocked him. 2 days later, Rachel showed up at our house in Greensboro. Unannounced. I had just gotten home from a job. She was sitting on the front steps, wearing sunglasses, arms crossed. She didn't look put together this time. Hair messy, face puffy. I walked right past her and unlocked the door. "Chris," she said, standing up, "please." I opened the door. She followed me in. I let her talk. She said it was a mistake. She said it wasn't serious. She said Tyler wasn't supposed to mean anything. That it just happened. She stood there in our living room, the same room we painted together last winter, and tried to cry. She reached for me like I was supposed to hold her. I stepped back. "You cheated. You lied. You shut the door in my face. It wasn't about you," she said. That was it. That sentence. That told me everything I needed to know. I said, "You need to leave." "I have nowhere to go," she said. "Mom's not speaking to me." Logan's furious. Tyler's wife, ex-wife, she sent the pictures to everyone. "I've lost everything." "Good," I said. "You earned it." I walked her to the door. She turned and looked at me with this dead expression. No more tears. Just coldness. "You think this makes you a hero?" she said. "No," I told her. "I think it makes me done." She walked out. I locked the door behind her. I called my lawyer the next morning. Filed for divorce. Cited adultery. North Carolina allows it, and I had evidence. 3 weeks later, I got a message on Facebook. From Tyler's now ex-wife, Allison. She wanted to talk. We met for coffee at a diner off I-40, halfway between our towns. She brought a folder full of screenshots, emails, old texts. It had been going on longer than I thought, almost a year. Apparently, Rachel and Tyler used to run errands for Logan's mom together. Grocery trips. Pharmacy pickups. One day, Allison noticed Rachel's perfume on Tyler's shirt. He made up some excuse about bumping into her at the store. She didn't believe it. Turns out, Allison had her own private investigator for months. She never had solid proof. Until I sent her the photos. She showed me a printout of a reservation confirmation. A weekend in Gatlinburg. Booked under a fake name. Paid in cash. Rachel and Tyler were playing house while I was fixing up our kitchen. Allison told me she already filed for divorce too. She said, "Thank you for sending those photos. You gave me what I couldn't get on my own." That hit me hard. Rachel didn't just lie to me. She wrecked someone else's home too. Things kept unraveling after that. Rachel's brand partners dropped her one by one. Word spread in her little influencer circle. Turns out, a few of them had been cheated on too, and they didn't take kindly to what she did. She tried to play the victim online. Posted something vague about betrayal and private matters being made public. Comments lit up fast. People weren't buying it. One of her old followers screenshotted the post and replied, "Didn't you shut the door on your own husband's face?" It went viral in that circle. She deleted everything within hours. Rachel moved into a short-term rental on the other side of Knoxville. From what I hear, she's struggling to get work. Influencer brands don't want her. Even local businesses don't trust her with marketing gigs. Her brother? I don't know. Last I heard, he cut off Tyler completely. But he still blames me for tearing things apart. As if none of it would have happened if I'd just stayed home. They all blame the light for showing what was in the room. I didn't ruin anything. I just exposed it. About 2 months after Rachel walked out of my house, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It rang twice before I hit decline. A minute later, my phone buzzed again, this time, a voicemail. I let it sit for hours before I finally listened. It was Rachel's mom. Her voice was shaky. Said she was sorry about everything, and that she should have known something was off. She asked if we could talk sometime, just the two of us. I didn't know what to make of it. The woman had always been polite to me, but distant. More of a country club type. She never liked how I wore work boots in her house. But curiosity got the best of me. So the next weekend, I drove back to Knoxville. We met at a diner near the lake. She looked older than I remembered. Tired. She held my hands across the table and said, "I want you to know I never raised her to treat someone like that." Then she told me the part one didn't see coming. Rachel wasn't just cheating with Tyler. There had been others. At least two that her mom knew of. One from years ago, some old college fling she met again during a conference in Charlotte. And another guy last spring, a client from one of her influencer campaigns. That one ended badly. Rachel had tried to hide it, but her mom overheard a fight on speakerphone and pieced it together. I sat there, stunned. My wife, the woman I drove 8 hours to surprise, had been lying to me since year 2 of our marriage. Her mom said, I begged her to stop. Told her she had a good man. She told me she felt trapped. Said you made her feel small. I laughed at that. I've never made her feel small. I paid every bill, fixed every problem, gave her every chance to be honest. No. She didn't feel small. She felt bored. She wanted excitement. The attention. She just never thought she'd get caught. Her mom gave me something as I was leaving, a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. From Rachel. She must have left it at her mom's house before things fell apart. It said, "Chris, I know I hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness. I messed up worse than I ever thought possible. I thought I needed something different. I was wrong. No details. No apology. Just a few lines written like she spilled her coffee while scribbling it down. I tossed it in the trash at a gas station on the drive back. Then came the biggest twist of all. 2 weeks later, I got served. Rachel was contesting the divorce. Her lawyer claimed I had smeared her reputation and caused irreparable career damage by sending those photos to her sponsors. She was suing me for defamation. That's when something inside me snapped. You can cheat, lie, shut the door in my face, embarrass me in front of your whole damn family, and I still won't raise my voice. But when you try to turn the truth into an attack, that's war. I called Allison, Tyler's ex. Told her what was happening. She laughed and said, "You're kidding, right?" Nope. So we teamed up. Allison had more dirt on Rachel than I ever imagined. Old texts. Screenshots of Rachel admitting to cheating, bragging about how easy it was to keep Chris in the dark. Even one message that said, "He's too dumb to notice anything." We handed it all to my lawyer. But I didn't stop there. I reached out to a few of Rachel's old brand contacts. Quietly. Sent them copies of the lawsuit. Let them see how she was trying to play the victim. One of them forwarded me a message Rachel sent, begging them to reconsider the partnership and ignore the lies. They didn't. She burned every last bridge on her own. Meanwhile, her lawsuit didn't go far. Once our lawyer laid out the messages, the judge threw out her claims. But by then, her name was already mud in her industry. Here's the real twist, though. Right around that time, Allison found out she was pregnant. Yeah. Tyler's kid. From just before the divorce. She called me in tears. Said she didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. But I listened. And when she calmed down, she said something that stuck with me. You didn't just save yourself, Chris. You saved me too. And this baby will never have to grow up around lies because of you. I hadn't thought about it like that. I didn't think I had saved anyone. But maybe I had. And the best part? Rachel still doesn't know. She has no idea Tyler's going to be a dad. No idea that her old life is never coming back. She thought she was smart. That she could run her little games and walk away clean. But now she's stuck in a city that doesn't want her. No job. No friends. No reputation. And every time she scrolls online, she gets reminded that once, on her 37th birthday, she laughed in her husband's face and shut the door on the only person who ever gave a damn about her. I thought that would be the end of it. The photos. The fallout. The lawsuit. I thought I'd done what I needed to do and could finally move on. But sometimes, life doesn't let things end neatly. Sometimes, people don't learn. And sometimes, karma waits until it's good and ready before it drops the hammer. Rachel didn't disappear quietly. Even after everything, she kept trying to crawl her way back into the spotlight. She rebranded herself, started a new Instagram under a fake middle name, tried to act like a whole different person. New beginnings, healing, rising from the ashes, kind of garbage. But the internet doesn't forget. People found her. Commented on every post. Called her out. Screenshots of her old captions got reposted over and over. One of them went viral. Real love means showing up every day, even when it's hard. Rachel, 3 days before I caught her cheating. Her attempt to start fresh flopped. Brands didn't trust her. Followers didn't believe her. She finally deleted everything. But the real final blow came 6 months later. I was back to working full-time. I'd dropped 15 pounds. I cut out alcohol. Started hiking on weekends just to clear my head. For the first time in years, I felt free. Then I got an email from an old coworker of Rachel's. Someone she used to freelance with years ago. She sent me a link. It was to a blog post. A full write-up from one of Rachel's old clients, titled, "The Truth Behind Our Former Influencer Partner, A Lesson in Due Diligence." It was brutal. They laid out the whole timeline, her infidelity, the fallout, the lawsuit against me, and warned other companies to vet their reps carefully. They didn't name her, but everyone knew. Rachel's name was done in that space. No one would touch her again. She called me that night. I almost didn't pick up. But I wanted to hear what rock bottom sounded like. Her voice was cracked, like she'd been crying for days. "You win," she said. I wasn't playing a game, I told her. I was just trying to live my life without being lied to. She didn't say anything for a long time. Then, I lost everything. "No," I said. "You threw it away." Click. I never heard from her again. As for Logan, he got into a fight with Tyler at a bar. Full-on brawl. Somebody filmed it. It ended up on YouTube. Logan lost his job at his real estate firm after the video spread. Public intoxication, assault charges, and a broken nose. He blamed Tyler for ruining his life. Tyler blamed Rachel. Nobody took responsibility. Allison ended up moving to Asheville to be closer to her family. We still talk. Not romantically, we're not in that place. But we check in. I even helped her fix a leaky water heater last month. Her son was born in May. Healthy. Strong. Looks nothing like Tyler, thank God. She named him Eli. She asked if I'd want to be his godfather. I said yes. And me? I sold the house Rachel and I lived in. Bought a smaller place across town. I built a little workshop out back where I do side jobs now, welding, custom installs, small engines. It's peaceful. Quiet. I still think about that night on the porch. Standing there with that cake, with all those people laughing behind the door. I used to replay that moment in my head and wonder what I did wrong. What I missed. But now? Now I see it for what it was. That was the moment I got out. That was the day life kicked me hard and told me to wake up. I walked away from a woman who would have destroyed me slowly over years, through secrets, lies, and smirks behind my back. She didn't ruin me. She revealed me. She showed me who I was, what I deserved, and what I'd never settle for again. So yeah, I left something on that porch that morning. It wasn't just a ruined cake or an envelope full of truth. I left her there. I left them there. And I walked away with my soul intact. I'll take that kind of revenge over fire and fury any day. Because the slow kind, the kind where they have to live in the world they created? That's the one that sticks. That's the one that lasts.